This is your Chargers linebacker, Deion Henley, and you're tuning in with Chargers Unleashed.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. If this is your first time tuning in the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Dan Wolkenstein, good morning. Happy Saturday to you, to everyone who's joining in the chat. As we gear up for a Week 4 matchup, Chargers once again traveling across country to face the New York Giants. Dan, lots of storylines in this one. The Chargers are going to attempt to go 4-0. in the same time frame that they went 3-0 for the first time in 23 years. And for the Giants, it's rookie Jaxon Dart that will be starting the game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Lots to get into. Dan and I are going to do our best to obviously preview the game as well as answering your questions over the next hour or so. If you have voicemails that you want to get featured on the show, the Chargers Unleashed hotline is officially open. So please, by all means, call into the hotline. Dan's going to do his best to monitor that and get your voicemails on the show. But Dan Wolkenstein, 8:30 in the a.m. Pacific time here on Saturday. Let's go to work.
Let's go to work. I went to work this morning. I got myself a little iced latte here. Folks in the chat, what are you guys drinking? Jake, what do you have for liquid so far this morning?
Yeah, I literally just popped this open. I went old school. So I went, instead of the usual Celsius that I get, Rockstar Recovery, strawberry lemonade, great flavor.
Mix some vodka in there. Start off the morning.
Dan, some things are just, some secrets are just
I didn't want
kept to the,
It doesn't need to be said out loud. I'm so sorry. You got Diet Dr. Pepper from Sherry, apple top juice.
Back in the day when I used to drink soda,
pretty sure I fed that to my 3-year-old.
Dr. Pepper is the shit. I don't care if it's diet or if it's full strength, even though full strength clears by a mile, but Dr. Pepper is the shit.
Yes, and also now they got all these crazy ass flavors that you can mix in with it. I don't know.
That's why I haven't drank soda in a while.
Rob,
all that.
Rob the sneak geek sticking into my bong rips this morning. Where's Brad Spicoli when you need him?
Oh, man. Spicoli may have just made a new friend.
Water, hydrate or dihydrate? Dihydrate.
Anyways, he's following the Denzel Perryman rule of law, essentially.
Yes, we didn't even get 30 seconds into the show and already got a super chat from Thomas Hawley. Appreciate you $5 donation. Stay tuned and stay hydrated. Bolt up. You guys rock. Dan and Jake. Appreciate you, Thomas. You are the best. Jake, we saw a comment here earlier. I mean, is this a trap game? You got the Commanders the following week. There's a lot of comments in here already talking about PTSD and talking about being nervous because of new quarterback. And
yep.
I will be the first one to say it. I have been scarred.
I get it.
And these past few weeks have certainly shown us something. This team appears to be different, but it feels like every week we say that, the following week comes another thing that invokes PTSD. How many times have we seen this Chargers team go up against rookie quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks, third-string quarterbacks, only to make them look pretty darn good in the past?
How many times have you seen it against Jesse Minter?
Touche.
I get it. It's going to take a lot to get over the scarring and the PTSD when you talk about literally through multiple coaching eras. Norv Turner, Mike McCoy, Anthony Lynn, Brandon Staley, where that whole same formula that you just said, Dan, was absolutely true. And now you have the Giants' first-round pick coming into this, Jaxon Dart. Even Jesse Minter alluded to it, that while obviously there's going to be preparation as usual for them, there's still the element of the unknown, as he mentioned, going into this game. So it's going to be a lot that we'll get into. Obviously, one of the biggest storylines as it relates to this game. So yeah, we'll break all this down.
Important question, Jake. How are you this fine Saturday morning?
Could have gotten better sleep, if I'm being frank.
All right, if you're Jake, how are you feeling?
If I'm Jake, how am I feeling?
Well, you're being frank. So how are you as Jake?
Jesus, Dan.
God, jeez.
Jesus.
You need to drink more of that Celsius, whatever the hell you got in there.
Yeah.
Mix some more things. Terry, let's go. Bolts, a little nervous about our guys breaking in a brand new quarterback, but this new Chargers team is for real. So, Jake, Chargers going up against the Giants. Lots to break down. Chargers offense versus Giants defense, vice versa. We'll get to voicemails here. Some stemming from last week as well as some from this morning. We'll get to our keys, matchups, and predictions as well. Jake, 50,000 foot view of this one. To me, the thing that probably scares most about this Chargers team, aside from the unknown of Jaxon Dart, I would imagine has to be the defensive front for this Giants defense.
100%.
And again, this Giants team, right, haven't won, but don't sleep on this defense for this Giants. Please don't
do it. Please
don't. This Giants defensive front is for real. Jake, you and I talked offline. I'd hope to see one of them fly the plane back with us to SoFi after this game. If the Chargers
got to get through the game first. Get through the game first.
Yep. But Jake, my 50,000 foot view is either protect Justin or those weapons got to separate quickly. If you could do one of those two things, you should be okay. But if neither of those things happen, recipe for disaster.
Definitely. The Giants' defensive front is the strength of this Giants defense. No doubt about it. Their secondary, secondary, I'm not worried about. You saw what they did for Kansas City's wide receivers. Essentially, when they have no wide receivers, they still gave up 40-plus yards to 3 different wide receivers of Kansas City last week. I'm not worried about the Giants secondary, but if you allow this Giants front to get after you, and again, when you can, for the Giants, it's a huge luxury because if you can do it continuously with only 4, you're going to make that secondary look a lot better. Brian Burns, who's obviously second in the league right now in total sacks, leads that Giants team right now with 4. Kayvon Thibodeaux has chipped in with a sack and a half. But in terms of overall pressures, they've found a way to get to quarterbacks, whether we're talking about pressures, sacks, finishing, whatever it is. They got to Mahomes last week twice, still was able to put pressure on him. It was a very weird type of game that you almost feel like if there was better play at the quarterback position for the Giants, that they could have actually won that game last week. But yeah, don't make any mistake about it. The front 4 is something that you definitely have to take note of, and especially with this week for the Chargers, with Bradley Bozeman being officially questionable. We know that Mekhi Becton is still in concussion protocol, and he's going to be out for this game, so it's going to be Jamari Sawyer that's going to step into the place of him. So hopefully you still have at least 4/5 of your offensive line at the starting position, but it's definitely not good tape to put out there after what you saw the Denver Broncos defensive front do to the Chargers offensive line last week. You can be rest assured that Brian Daboll is rolling that tape to figure out how he can set his guys up in a position to win in that circumstance. So it's the trenches, Dan. It's probably one of the biggest matchups of this game that you have to take note of.
Yep. Well, let's get into it, Jake. Before we do that, you said you didn't sleep well.
No.
But folks who could sleep well after a victory are the folks who can go with our partners over at Sleeper. Let's talk about them.
The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football with Sleeper. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now with players like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, guy over in LA, Justin Herbert. Pick on these stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you can win big. Just use the promo code Chargers LAFB and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operating in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Voicemail, Jake. Chargers on these hotline was going strong still after that Chargers victory, as well as this morning. 323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. Jake, let's sprinkle these in as we go through. First voicemail of the day. This one was today. Then we'll get to some from yesterday. Let's hear what we have to hear this morning.
What's going on, guys? It's me, Matthew How you guys doing?
I'm great. Matthew, how are you? Jake, you're good. Didn't sleep great.
Nope, tired. But I'm
Very
here.
excited for tomorrow. Should be a good game. Hopefully it's blowout. But you know,
Just sneak that in there.
looking
Should
at
be a blowout, but
these Chargers past games and stuff, I would really like a blowout because if you want this team to become a Super Bowl or take a deep run, they got to blow teams out. They can't have this game be a close one. So defense expects you to go off and make this rookie know he's a rookie. The offense, we'll see what happens with the O-line because I'm a little nervous with that situation. So, but at the same time and stuff, like I'm hoping Jim Harbaugh tells these guys, hey, like let's blow these guys out. You know, like I mean, I really want to because it's been a while since we've blown out a team. Probably last year against the Patriots, but you know. But yeah, you know, so I really want to blow up these teams out and just get over with. So my only thing is if the pass rush doesn't get any sacks or gets pressure but don't get sacks, then we need to start thinking about maybe trading for a pass rush this year. But we'll see what happens. My prediction is I think the Chargers win, I'm going to say 33-10, I'm going to say 33-10. So I'm hoping a blowout. I want one because if you can't blow his teams out, then it's not really cool. But we love you guys. As always, let's have a good game tomorrow. Bolts up. Thank you.
let's just get the win. That's all I say.
Beggars can't be choosers, man.
Just get the win. I guarantee you there's going to be some things that Jaxon Dart is going to do tomorrow that the Chargers defense is not prepared for because there basically is no tape outside of the preseason on Jaxon Dart, outside of 6 snaps that he has taken that have all been designed runs essentially for him. So he's obviously going to be a mobile quarterback, which we've talked about plenty of times as it relates to mobile quarterbacks in general for this Chargers team, is that you need to do a good job of being disciplined to make sure you're containing him, make sure you're not letting him break away any of these long runs to extend drives. But in terms of reading coverages, Dan, that's where Derwin James is going to come into play. That's where Jesse Minter is going to come into play.
Yeah.
You need to throw a lot of different looks at Jaxon Dart that is obviously going to make him feel uncomfortable. Dan, I wonder how much Trey Harris has been in the has been a voice to Jesse Minter this week, considering that it's 2 former Ole Miss teammates on either sides of the sidelines to possibly scout for this upcoming matchup. But no, Dan, this is going back to his one of his points that he made in terms of the pass rush. One of my X factors for defense is a familiar name that you'll obviously hear a little bit later, but in general, I think the pass rush has woken up the last 2 weeks for the Chargers. It's gotten better, but it does need to finish. It does definitely need to finish. You don't necessarily like to see all your sacks come from guys like Troy Dye or Derwin James. You'd like to see some of your edge players get in there a little bit more. But I think in terms of them penetrating in the interior, Dan, Teair Tart is obviously emerging in that category. Jamari Caldwell is emerging in that category. So I think if you're able to get pressure offensively from that standpoint, you're going to be able to make Jaxon Dart uncomfortable, and you're going to force him into mistakes for sure.
Yeah, there was a comment in here earlier from TNT Adventures to see Jaxon Dart meet Mr. Tart. Maybe a little love tap to introduce you to our new Chargers team. Teair Tart, by the way, quickly becoming a fan favorite. You see all his comments on Instagram. You see his play on the field. You see his comments. Like, it's been a minute since the Chargers have had somebody like this who talk, who bark, but also can back it up, right? Like, that's the thing is I think we're used to seeing this Chargers team being kind of a finesse team, but you're starting to see some beef. Point. You're starting to see some folks with some muscle, right? With some intensity that they haven't had. Picture on the screen. Probably the 2 most important players on the Chargers defense right now, with Khalil Mack not playing. Deion Henley, who now appears healthy after 2 weeks of flu, which blew brutal. And then Derwin James, who's been playing like an absolute animal. Both of these guys playing like all pros, by the way. Let's start with the Chargers defense versus the Giants offense. I think that's been the theme that we have done. It's been the trend that we've had since week 1.
Actually, Dan, it's been the Chargers defense versus the opposing offense because we know what the Chargers offense.
Chargers
yeah,
defense versus opposing offense.
Yeah, you said it. You said it backwards.
That's the Chargers defense, which is pictured on a screen,
right?
Versus the Giants offense.
Yeah, you said the Chargers offense, but whatever. I digress.
Whatever, dude. It's 8.
We're 3-0. We're 3-0 when we start like that. I just want to make sure.
Whatever the hell we've done before, we're doing it now.
Yes.
We're doing it
Perfect.
now. Chargers getting to see that Malik Neighbors kid. That's Cam Scatterbo, who we all were high on.
Sun Devil alum for Dan Wolkenstein.
Yep. Wan'Dale Robinson. No Tyron Tracy in this one. But to me, it's those 3 guys. It's Jaxon Dart, it's Malik Neighbors, and it's Cam Scatterbo. That's the offense. But you can get into the other guys like Darius Slayton. You can talk about, I don't know, Theo Johnson. That's it. Good friend Gunnar Olszewski's in this one. Please don't let us hear his name.
A legend on this show, without a doubt.
Who do you think's going to be on Neighbors? Primarily. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be mixed up, but primarily.
I'm still going to say that No, I think that you're going to... Because Dante Jackson is playing really, really well right now from what you've seen. You know, it's good that you're getting Cam Hart back for this game because he was out last week due to his hip injury that he suffered against the Raiders. But Dante Jackson is playing really, really well right now. So I think that you go with the hot hand. But to your point, I definitely think that there'll be times where Jesse will rotate certain guys on coverages. But no, I think it'll start and ultimately finish with Dante Jackson covering Malik Neighbors. Mind you, Malik Neighbors... Dan, talk about removing someone out of the equation, and you could attribute this to bad quarterback play or whatnot. But
1 catch
last week against the Chiefs, it was 1 for 13 yards. I mean, he was nothing, and that was coming off of a 167-yard game against the Dallas defense that he just went absolute God mode. So you can't allow. This is now, I feel like it's becoming a trend off of what we've seen 2 out of the last 3 weeks. You can't allow the big explosive play, especially when you have a guy like Malik Neighbors on this team. You saw the Chargers give it up last week against Cortland Sutton and the Denver Broncos. You saw those plays happen against the Chiefs in week 1 to Tyquan Thornton, to Hollywood Brown. You cannot allow those type of mental errors to happen in the secondary. You have to lock those down.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we see what the recipe is with this Chargers defense, right? We see what they make opposing offenses do. Like, they make opposing offenses, especially their quarterback, they got to think a whole lot. They've got to, this is kind of like death by 1,000 cuts, right? This Chargers defense makes the offense, in theory, what they want to do is make the offense go 15 plays. Make them go down the field 15 times. That gives your defense 15 opportunities to take it away. What they can't do and what they bank on not doing is those explosive plays, right? Those back-breaking plays where I call them the easy TDs, right? Like, you can't do that. You cannot let them get behind the defense, especially with a guy like Neighbors, the broken tackles, things like that. Like, those are the things that will cripple a team, especially if your offense isn't clicking, if your offense isn't scoring 30, right? If you're relying on your defense to be able to help keep this game afloat, the defense has to keep things in front of them, settle for field goals. So the guys that can cause havoc, Cam Scatterbo is definitely going to be breaking tackles. That's his goal. That's his game. That's what he does. And Malik Neighbors is looking for box office touchdowns. So if you can eliminate those and make Jaxon Dart look like a rookie quarterback, you should be okay. For all of the things going wrong with the Chargers in terms of injuries and the offensive line and looking at like other parts of the team, they should roll. Like, if all things are equal, if all things go the way they should go, and both teams play as great as they can, this Chargers team should roll. Now, someone in the comments, Jake Brad, says, blitz, 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 blitz. If you're Jesse Minter, because honestly, both of these things I could see success from. I can see that side, right? Blitz a crap ton, get to Jaxon Dart, heat him up, make him throw quickly, make him get off of his platform, cause disruption. Or drop 7, spy with Henley, make him throw into the coverage that has been so sticky all season. Confusion can cause turnover. Which one would you rely on?
I think you're going to get a variety of it, Dan, honestly. I think that the interior of the Giants line is susceptible to pass rush. So if you can get penetration in those type of situations where you can drop more into coverage and cause confusion, then absolutely, by all means. But, and this is one of the, I think the underlying storylines about this is the Giants are getting Andrew Thomas back. He played a handful of snaps last week. I think it was only about 25 that he played. But in that, he did not allow a pressure. That's a big get back for them, especially for Jaxon Dart making his season debut. So in terms of protecting his blind side. And their right tackle, Illuminor, has not played bad this season. So if you're looking for that pressure to finally get there from the edges, you're going to have to work for that. But again, I think that the biggest places of impact for this Giants defense is in their interior, left guard, center, and right guard. So if you can create penetration there, instead of having to bring the house on a blitz, even though I know Jesse Minter is going to do, you're going to see Tarheeb still do it. You're going to see Derwin James do it off the corners. So I think it'll be a nice mixture to confuse the hell out of Jaxon Dart.
Yeah, and a part of me wonders if this Chargers team is going to go after it via pressure. Because like you look at some of the grades that this Giants team has had, like look at their pass blocking. Again, PFF isn't the Bible, but you can look at it as like a trend, right? As like a benchmark. Against the Cowboys and the Chiefs, their pass blocking grade, 54.3 collectively against the Cowboys and 46.9 against Chiefs. Like, that's not good. That is not good. The Chargers pass rush, and this is kind of like weakness on weakness right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Minter does a really good job of kind of that manufactured pressure, right? Where you don't know where it's coming from. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 6. If you can heat up Jaxon Dart and have Deion Henley kind of in that spy position, I think you're okay. The recipe for this game, honestly, for disaster for the Chargers is if you see Scatabo and Dart go off on the ground.
Yeah, you can't allow Scatabo to get going.
If you see Jaxon Dart 6 rushes for 49 yards, 4 first downs, Scatabo 25 carries, 86 yards and 2 touchdowns, like that's not good. Like you cannot have 100 yards between those two. So for me, I think this matchup is going to be Deion versus Dart. But I would kind of put that like interior, but Deion just in terms of like containment because he's athletic.
He's the spy.
And then like by all means necessary for Malik Neighbors. Like those are the things that can kill you. After that, it's like Minter, have a day. Go have fun. Go get some sacks, man. I agree with the caller. If they don't heat up, they don't get some sacks, they don't get home against Dart. Again, like I would love to see Thibodeau on that flight back to LA.
Got to win the game first.
Or talk to that guy in Miami. Hey, there's a few guys in Miami you can bring over. I agree. I said it before the season even started that I thought they should bring in more edge depth. Take anything else on the Chargers defense versus the Giants offense?
I will get into the other aspects of this once I get to the X factor for the Chargers defense when we get to that a little bit later on in the show.
Beef Talent Boy says, Blitz Derwin and Troy Dye on passing downs. Jake, I love the fact that you called out that Troy Dye play against Bo Nix last week.
Not nuts.
And then you saw the Chargers team highlight that in their social media thing this past week. Troy Dye has been an underrated savior for this team. Considering no Denzel Perryman, Junior Colson is now off for the season. Like if they didn't have Troy Dye, who's playing the way he's playing, like that's a huge gap. That's a huge gap. Brad says, I think Murphy might need to step up. Dude is quick. Yes. Yes, he is.
It's a good point on this that I'll relate to later as it relates to not only Murphy, but another player.
Yep. We'll get to the offense here in a bit for the Chargers. Emmanuel says Troy Dye could rock Scatabo. I don't know.
Scatabo is just a goddamn bulldozer is what he is.
Yeah, sweet jump, the lightning bolts. Jake, let's get to some of these voicemails real fast. 323-902-7586, number to the hotline. Next voicemail, I think this is a reaction from last week's victory.
Is this just one badass team?
It's one badass team.
I think we'll find if they go in today or tomorrow, excuse me. Yes, the answer is yes. There's no more of that PTSD, kick the can down the road, wait till next week to figure it out. If they can go 4-0, the 3 division wins, and then they can beat the Giants, no trap game, 4-0 going into the game against the Commanders, yes. This is a badass team.
I mean, Justin, come on. One-armed from the wrong direction. He's kicking butt. And then, Gaston's back in there. And then, Derwin. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Can't believe this team. 3-0.
He sounds like Dan. He sounds like, God, I apologies for forgetting the name, but he sounds like the guy who used to be
Brady
the voice
Savage.
on. No, he used to be the guy who did all the voiceovers for the trailers that you would see for any type of movie that would be out there. He just sounds like he's a little bit like it's that guy jacked up on steroids a little bit with a little bit more oomph behind it.
Oh, look, Brad thought the same thing. Macho Man.
Oh, I mean, it could. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He's the cream of the crop.
I'm going to keep that in my back pocket for.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's either that or the Kool-Aid, man. One of the two.
Got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Oh, man. It's amazing how this Chargers fan base feels after a dub. It
does a lot of things to you. If you heard the last show, you knew that everybody was on one. Like I said, the Chargers Unleashed hotline came to play in a big time way with the voicemails
last week.
So
Absolutely
if the Chargers
unreal.
go 4-0, we expect nothing less from you guys because now you guys are setting up precedent. Now you guys are setting the bar each and every week. Try to break it.
Yep. Next voicemail.
Dan, Jay.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Give me a minute while I get my hearing back.
Okay,
Damn.
Let's all collectively play a game here. Let's play a game. You come in a little hot. Came in hot. Talking about us first. Do you see this going positive or negative?
Something tells me he's going to pick on you again, Dan.
Well, I know. I don't understand. I feel like he is coming at me strong. And all I've done is speak facts and truth.
And
Tethering.
PTSD and nerves.
Yes.
The hopium and the
hopium
realism.
and copium have all been in play here.
Yes.
So you think he's going to pick on me?
Yeah.
Folks in the chat, what do you guys
Let's
think?
just see.
What do you guys think? Have no fear. Athira is here. God dang it. Here we go.
This is FDU.
Oh, it's Athir. I was wondering who that was.
Boys, first of all, Dan, you know I always love.
Damn it. Here it comes. Here goes a compliment sandwich. Dan, you know I love you, my baby, but your takes are trash. Here it comes, ready?
Love you, my baby. I always mess with you. I just want you to believe in this team like I've been believing this team way before the season started. What a win. What a win. I am not shocked. I am not surprised. This team is resilient. And now I will say this. Here we come. I will have the craziest, the boldest prediction for Sunday game. Stars show up in the Big Apple. I am going Justin Herbert, 400 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Chargers stump the Giants, 42-10. And then after the game, Justin Herbert will be the MVP favorite. Let's go!
Oh, I love it there. Absolutely love it there. Hey, look, I can give him crap all I want. So far, through 3 weeks, he has been dead on.
I mean, he's the leader of the optimistic train for any Chargers fan that's out there.
I took off the badge and just handed it to Athir.
Yep. Yeah, that used to be you.
That used to be
you.
Michael says this Giants defensive line is the same as Houston. I hate to say this, and I see a repeat of last year's Houston game. So back down to reality, right? Like there are many ways this Chargers team can win. One of the few ways that this Chargers team can lose in emphatic fashion is if they see a repeat of what we saw in Houston. And this Giants defensive front is legit, man. 4 weeks in a row, this Chargers offense is going up against real defensive fronts.
I told you we would know about this. We get a good feel of this offensive line in the first 4 weeks.
And they come in waves, man. I really like this Giants defensive front. Like the fact that they have extras that they can trade away says enough. Says enough. Jake, let's switch gears. Chargers offense versus the Giants defense. How do you feel about this? Are you feeling as optimistic as a tier when it comes to that 4 touchdown, 400-yard performance?
I don't know that much because Dan, I think if there was a time, we saw a little bit of it last week in the
talk about
emphasis on the running game.
Yes.
Getting going.
Talk dirty. Keep it going.
Even after Najee Harris goes down.
Please.
They did not shy away from giving the ball to the running back, specifically Omari and Hampton. And I thought Omari and Hampton with a much bigger workload, both in the passing game and in the run game, had a solid game. This Giants team just gave Isaiah Pacheco the best rushing game of the season so far. And the Chiefs' rushing offense has been god-awful through the beginning of the season. And they just gave Isaiah Pacheco over 4 yards per carry in the last game. Omari and Hampton can definitely do that. This Giants defense, for as much as we laud the front four in terms of getting after the quarterback and creating pressure, strangely enough, they allow a number of rushing yards as well. So I think you're going to see a much more balanced attack. I think you're going to see Omari and Hampton featured a lot. We'll obviously wait to see the official announcement of most likely the elevation of Kamani Vidal in this game. But again, I think you're going to take what you got last week against the Broncos, what worked even against that defense, and I think that you can now amplify that against this Giants team. But once again, Dan, it's going to be in the trenches. If you were able to protect Justin Herbert, and if you were able to get him time, I'm not worried about this secondary. And this trio of wide receivers that's working now with essentially Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen tied for the lead in touchdowns for the wide receiver trio. Again, Ladd McConkey hasn't even found the end zone yet. And this is how much the wide receiver group is stepping up. You're going to be able to move the ball. I think you're going to be able to find those areas, much like you did in the weakness of the Denver middle of the field last week with a guy named Rondé Gadsden, and you're going to be able to find him again in this one. So I think that Justin Herbert is going to find his spots. I'm not worried about the possibility of putting points up against this team. I think you're definitely going to find much more success than you did against Denver's in the Denver game last week, because Giants' secondary ain't the Broncos secondary. That's for sure.
Fifth most passing yards allowed. This Giants secondary, 252 yards per game, and second most rushing yards per game allowed.
Yeah,
this Giants
I see a shit ton of play action. I see a shit ton of play action in this game. I think you're going to be able to find plenty of success against the run, but you need to figure out a way to protect Justin Herbert in this game.
Yeah. So this is kind of like pick your battle. Greg Roman, like salivating at this point. You got weapons. You've got a running game. You should have a running game. This is the week that you should be able to kind of flex that muscle a little bit. I know Mekhi Becton is not there. I know Bradley Bozeman might be hammered. We might see Andre James. I don't know. But you got a dude that can carry. You got a dude that can carry. And you see Omari and Hampton start to kind of pick up steam, right? You saw that last week. Some of those runs, you're like, whoa. And he's carrying dudes. The losses of 4 turn into losses of 1. The no gains are gains of 4, right? He's slashing through. And as he gets more confident, gets more carries. And that was the issue with the first few games, was he wasn't really having enough carries to get into any kind of rhythm. This, to your point, I think you're dead on, Jake. You're going to see a ton of play action. And Justin Herbert is an absolute menace in play action. And again, when Justin is healthy, his ability to extend plays is the X factor for him. Because you see how many times his ability to extend plays turns into absolute gold. Absolute gold. Having playmakers that can separate, right? Like off script, the second phase of an offensive play, coupled with that athleticism for Justin when he's healthy, like that's a cheat code, man. And now you're seeing the difference from last year to this year when you have one guy that you can rely on that can separate in Ladd versus now a plethora. So excited to see Oronde Gadsden get his shine last week. He's staying. He's one. Obviously Ladd. Obviously Keenan. Quentin Johnston. Now, you got folks in national media saying this Chargers team has the best wide receiver trio in the NFL. Now,
when just 1 year ago, it was labeled as one of the worst wide receiver groups in the NFL.
Now, is that kind of a buy high, sell high kind of thing? Maybe. I don't know if they're the best wide receiver trio in the NFL. They are clearly improved. And for what Justin Herbert needs to succeed, quick separation, take the top off, and athleticism, spades. That's not including Conklin. That's not including Trey Harris. That's not including KLS. He's got weapons that can get open. And Quentin Johnston, man, I hope this Chargers team, I hope Quentin Johnston has just a Rolodex of all the people that gave up on him. And again, it's so easy to just talk your smack, right? Guy's not playing well. You're impatient. Guy's dropping balls. You can criticize him all you want, whatever. It's so easy to be like, oh, I'm so glad I was wrong. I'm so glad that he figured it out. Like, come on. And who knows, right? Like, Quentin Johnston is on a tear right now. But, hey, maybe things go sideways. Who knows? Like, let this thing play out. But it's so awesome to see him take this year 3. And then you look at it across the NFL. You're seeing some other receivers, both in rookie classes lately or just top-end wide receivers who aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They're not catching the balls. Wide receivers drop balls, man. It's how you respond. And that has been the issue with Quentin. The drops are one thing that he's had, but it's what happens after the drop, right? Like that fish mentality where you just flush it. This year, he's just been on a tear. It's been so awesome. Chargers offense versus the Giants defense, Jake. To me, I would love, as much as I would love to see Justin go 400, I think I would be more impressed if this team goes 220 on the 220 from Justin, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, $160 from Amarion and company.
$160.
Yeah, I would take that. Like that, to me, that's something that pushes this team forward into next week, into the rest of the season. Giving them an offense that has a running game that can impose its will. Like that's what we want to build on. Like that's momentum. Well, wide receivers. Jake, who do you see as the wide receivers to kind of come out of this one, considering who the Giants secondary is?
I mean, Dan, take your pick. And, normally I'm the one that preaches patience. But I don't think it's hyperbole at all to say that this is amongst the best wide receiver trios in the league. And it's not just from a standpoint of them producing. It's Justin Herbert's not showing any bias at all. If you're open, he's throwing it to you. There is no favoritism here. This isn't the Ladd McConkey show of last year. This isn't the many years of just Keenan Allen being the one to get open and Justin Herbert finding him and third and Keenan or fourth and Allen, whatever it is that you want to say. This is everyone contributing. Dan, when you look at some of these matchups, Paulson Adebo may go up and may get the call to cover Keenan Allen. It's not the best start for him. Drew Phillips, who had a great rookie season last year for the Giants.
Both those guys were guys I was high on going into the draft.
He's off to a rocky start, and he may have the assignment of covering Ladd McConkey in this game. Dan, the middle of the field is susceptible. Their linebackers are not doing that good. Their safeties are not playing their best type of football. Like, you're going to be able to find space. And if you go into this using the same type
if that pass rush doesn't get to him.
Of course, everything obviously starts with the trenches. But I think that you're going to be able to find similar type of space that you found in the Kansas City Chiefs game. You call a bunch of those crossing routes, you get guys out into space. You're going to be able to find some green for one of these receivers for sure.
Action Dan 65, $20 donation. Whew. Damn, this feels good. That's going to pay for like 2 Starbucks coffees. It's the way that inflation's going right now, but I don't care. Thank you, Action Dan 65. Bad news, he says. Josh Allen will remain the MVP favorite due to their cupcake schedule through week 8. Good news. The Chargers are number 1 in the division, number 1 in the AFC, and number 1 in the whole NFL. BTFU. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Say what you will about Josh Allen, the competition he's going up against. Like, Josh Allen is a bona fide MVP of this league. Like, the dude is legit. And it's not just because of the cupcake schedule. Like, the guy is unreal. That said, if Justin Herbert continues to do what he does and can beat the teams that he continues to beat, I could very well see him leapfrogging Josh Allen.
What was the biggest criticism of the Chargers last year?
Oh, we all know.
We all know what it was. But I'm talking in terms of their schedule. It's the fact that it was one of the easiest schedules in the league. So a lot of people made the argument to say, oh, well, Jesse Minter's defense found success against that type of schedule, which brought the Chargers obviously back to the playoffs. But you flip that around, Chargers have already beat 2 teams that were in the playoffs last year. It's a great start for them. In the games where they had to play against playoff teams last year,
the only wins they got were against the Broncos.
It wasn't a good record last year against playoff teams. Now you started off the year.
It was like 2 wins and like 5, or was it 2 wins and 5 losses, or 2 and 7, something like that.
Whatever it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So you're already 2-0 against playoff teams of last year. It's a great start.
Yeah, Jake, you and I talked about it at the beginning of the season. Like, the story of this season will be, can the Chargers beat the teams that are good? It's not going to be about can they beat the bad teams. It's like, yes, if they let go of one of those games, it's going to be brutal. But Chargers have shown they could beat the bad teams. It's can they win those playoff type atmospheres? And so far, 2-0 against division rivals. Like, that is the story right now. No, like, the people that had 3-0
again, yeah, 3-0,
2-0 against playoff. I'm saying 2-0 against teams that were playoff bound. The folks that said 3-0, everyone was talking about like, oh, you're a homer, no way. Just like, that was not looked at as really that possible.
I had them going 2-1. I had them dropping the Broncos game, and I got to say, last week showed a lot of shit. When you look at what that Denver Broncos defense was doing and the Chargers' position that they were in at certain points of that game and just not able to move the ball, finding themselves in 3rd and long situations, giving up 5 sacks on the game. That was one of those Justin Herbert type statements. As we've been saying that there have been so many statement moments for Justin Herbert over the last 5 years, that was one of them. That was one of them against a very, very good defense that you're going to see again.
So, Jake, I guess one of the questions to ask you, and I know there's some volatility here with the offensive line, but which is the exception versus the rule? The Chargers offensive line performance the first 2 weeks, or Chargers offensive line performance in week 3?
You might have to go with the rule this time around, Dan, because you're going to be down one of your offensive linemen. You have another right tackle who's technically battling injuries while still looking like he's going to play in this game. Got to give it to Trey Pipkins. He got banged the hell up in that Denver game, And while he was in and out of it, he could have easily tapped out. He did not go. He kept coming back in the game. So I got to give credit where credit is due. But you kind of have to go with what you've seen over the last week, Dan, because that may dictate what takes place against this Giants defensive front. And as we said at the beginning of the show, you can't ignore it. Everything starts with the offensive line as it relates to this offense in general and Justin Herbert getting going. So it's something to take note of. Again, I loved what I saw from the first 2 weeks. I thought that the Chargers offensive line did exceptionally well against some of the pass rushers that you see from Max Crosby, George Karlaftis, Chris Jones. I thought they did exceptionally well.
Surprisingly, this Giants defense in totality, right? That front's good, but if we talk about getting home and like the numbers that matter, like pressure percentage so far through 3 games, 6th worst, just 16.2% pressure rate. Hurry percentage, they are 5th worst, 2.9%. They hardly blitz. Like, again, they blitz what, 26% of the time?
You're talking about the Giants defense?
Yeah.
As opposed to Justin Herbert facing the most pressure that he felt during his entire career last week against the Denver Broncos.
It's a different style, man. It's a different style. So, like, this one feels like we'll see more of weeks 1 and 2 offensive line. But, again, that's why they play the game. Let's see. Justin Herbert had that crazy throw last time he played the Giants. I was there, by the way. I was at that game. That was sick.
You know, it seems like that's an eternity ago.
I know.
When really it was just 4 years ago. This is actually a shot from that game itself. But it's a much different Chargers team now. It's a much different Chargers team, offensively and defensively.
Do you want to talk about real quick? And this might be us low-hanging fruit. Folks who have watched Justin Herbert, I don't want to say respectfully, but honestly, I'll say that. Like, I think everyone has known that has watched Justin without their own agenda, that the dude has been unreal since he came in the league, has had absolutely insane throws, has absolutely crazy clutch moments. We all know the stats about all this stuff and comparisons to the greats. But it's crazy to me how quickly the national narrative has shifted on Justin this season. And I will say this, like, and I have been critical of Justin Herbert. Jake, you and I have talked about it, and I got flamed for it. But in the past, there have been times where Justin Herbert had all the things stacked against him, right? Like the offensive line was trash, the defense was trash, the special teams wasn't working, coaching sucked, all those things. Yet Justin Herbert had the opportunity at the end of the game to still put the team on his back and win it. Regardless of all that crap, he could still do it. And for all of those reasons, doesn't matter, for all the reasons, he didn't do it. Some of the great quarterbacks can overcome all of that. And I think that was the one thing that we didn't see from him. Now, was he injured? Sure. Was defense terrible? Yes. Was the offensive line trash? Did he have weapons? No. Like, all of those things are true. But you see across the league, there are a handful of quarterbacks that can say, to hell with it, I'll figure it out. This year, you're seeing that. Now, is that because he's healthy now? Sure. Is that because he has more weapons now? Sure. But the overall landscape, this Chargers quarterback is the same dude. And so it's just this day and age of reporting on players and on sports is just like people go to extremes all the time. And there's no accountability for people that say the most ridiculous, stupid things. And that's okay, right? Like you do it for clicks. I get it. Clickbait's real. But for what it's worth, I'm excited to see Justin get the national attention because the kid deserves it and he's playing unreal.
I can't really add much more than what you said there, Dan. All I can say is that winning changes people's opinions. it changes the entire narrative. The Indianapolis Colts right now are 3-0 with Daniel Jones at quarterback, even though it's been Jonathan Taylor who has helped them lead them to a 3-0 record, even though Daniel Jones has been playing admirably through the first 3 weeks and has got their team undefeated at a time where nobody thought that he was going to do anything coming off of his tenure with the Giants. Winning just does a lot of things to people's headspace. And as it relates to Justin Herbert, I think there are so many people in the national media, especially with them being on the East Coast, who basically just look at recency bias. And to go to that one stat of the one thing that Justin Herbert has not done yet,
0-2.
and that's win a playoff game. You see Ryan Clark's entire argument a couple weeks back solely go back to the Houston Texans game, and that was it. That was his whole rationale of argument. So many national media have done that because truly I just don't believe that they really watch the late
I also don't
games for
believe
the
that they actually
Chargers.
believe what they're saying. Like, again, like they know what they're doing.
Do they?
No, they know what they're doing in the fact that they are talking stuff that will get attention.
All I will sum it up with is what you were saying. As quickly as we have seen the backtrack between before week 1 starting off to now coming into week 4 and the change in narrative, it's been awesome.
Totally. But again, like, and we said this before the season started, there's nothing that can happen this season that will change the narrative for Justin. The goalposts will constantly shift until he gets that first victory in the playoffs. And again, like there's reason for that. Like I get that. And I agree with that.
I totally agree with it. But don't have that be your whole framing for who and what Justin Herbert is as a player and what he can do.
Yeah. John Lee, I guess there's an argument in here about Josh Allen versus Justin Herbert, which the fact that you're even in that discussion right now, like, come on, let's all be appreciative. They got a quarterback that is the top 3 MVP discussion. Like,
still got 3 quarters of the season left to go.
It's okay. Yes. Yes. Mighty says, Josh is the man, Josh Allen. Herbert has been better this year so far, and that's the reality. I'd probably argue yes. I'd agree. MVP voting right now, other than Justin, Josh Allen. Who else would you say is up there? Baker?
That's a great argument for Baker, considering that he brought his team back 3 straight weeks in a row to win games. I'm not sure how it looks right now, honestly. You can make an argument for Jonathan Taylor right now,
Dude.
Being an MVP for what he's doing at the running back position. Crazy. But again, we're not even 4 weeks complete into the season yet.
All right, X Factors. Let's get to it. We got X Factors, bold predictions, final score predictions. I think we got one more voicemail. Lots of X Factors in this game. We've talked about Omarion Hampton a bit, but I think this is probably the time to kind of go into more detail with him. There is a reason that they brought this guy in at number 22 overall. And you saw what happened to Najee Harris last week, which was awful. Sucked. Omarion had to step up, and he did. And I love the style that he brings to this Charge team paired with what Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh like to do. I agree, Jake. You had Omarion Hampton as the X factor on offense, and I 100% agree. The floor is yours.
Dan, I think you're going to see a lot of similar looks in terms of getting Omarion Hampton involved in the passing game this week, especially if that front of the Giants defense is able to start winning their battles. What's the quickest way that you get rid of an opposing team's pass rush? Screens. And that's what they started throwing to Omarion Hampton in that second half. And Omarion Hampton ended up with over 100 all-purpose yards last week. And I thought he looked great in that. And as much as just a rock that he is and being able to truck and carry guys, like he doesn't go down on first contact. He is not that type of a running back. We've seen that since the preseason. So I think that this is going to be another heavy game where he's featured, not just in terms of what the Giants give up in the rushing game to keep a more balanced attack, to keep some of those play action options open for Justin. Obviously, all purposes intended if he's protected. But I think that you're going to see a much more similar game plan in terms of Omarion Hampton being featured in this offense in a similar way that you saw last week against Denver.
Let's get to the last voicemail real quick before we get to some other X factors. Chargers hotline was fun last week. Last one.
Man, fellas, Aloy Gilman.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
We got to do something with him, man. He's got to wake up. He's got to stop falling asleep out there. Too many big plays getting lost out there. 4th and 2 is automatic. Don't let nothing get behind you. Separate the points from the big plays, and it looks like we have a dominating offensive side of the game. Bolts out.
That's so there's clearly miscommunication on the first 4th and 2 last week to Cortland Sutton. That was brutal. And you watch that, like I think I tweeted out immediately after that happened. That was the worst Jesse Minter defensive snap I had ever seen. But like if you're giving up one of the fact that we can probably name the explosive plays, like off the top of our head, you talked about it. Like those 2 we saw, the 4th down ones, and then we saw the 2 against the Chiefs. Like for the most part,
they weren't all on Aloy Gilman.
No. But the larger theme, stop the explosive plays, you'll win. Agreed.
Yes.
100% agreed. Jake, do you feel that this Chargers offense is at its optimal state with the way it's being currently operated as like a wide receiver target perspective? Because a lot of people are like, Ladd's got to get more involved. We've got to see more from Ladd, or we can't rely on Quinn, or we got to see more KLS. Like
no.
I'm kind of with you.
If there's anything that you need to see more of, it's the run game be implemented in this offense. And obviously, the first 2 weeks that struggled for the Chargers. But if you can look at it in one of two different ways. You can look at it as if the running back for the Chargers in both the Chiefs and the Raiders game had 16 carries collectively in that game. Didn't do much, but they didn't need to do much because Justin Herbert was firing on all cylinders. You needed it a little bit more against the Denver defense, and you found more success because Omari and Hampton had 25 total carries in that game, I think. Obviously played a bigger it was 19, excuse me.
Yeah, it was not 19 and him combined, yeah.
Yes, 19 for Omari and Hampton alone, but in general, in terms of him being featured, you needed him more in that game. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Ladd needs... Do you think Ladd's crying or complaining right now? Hell no.
He's literally jumping and cheering as they're scoring touchdowns.
He's loving this. I love seeing the fact that the more weeks we go along with Quentin Johnston performing like this is only going to give him more confidence. 1 year ago, 2 years ago, the catch from Quentin Johnston, we wouldn't have seen. Sanjay Law has done something to him to instill confidence. I love the approach that he has taken during the early days of OTAs and training camp with some of his comments about Quinn to basically say, we have confidence in Quinn, but he has to go out there and earn it. He's earning it right now. Even if sometimes from a perspective of you feel like that they're force-feeding Quentin Johnston, it's still a semblance of trust between Justin Herbert and Quentin Johnston. You fire one down to Quentin Johnston, he drops a ball. So fucking what? I'm going to go right back to him. And just this time he's going to catch the ball. And this time he's going to make a play. And he has been huge as it relates to, if you want to look at the Denver game or the Kansas City game, he's been huge in those games. And he's tied right now amongst wide receivers in touchdowns along with Keenan Allen. Nobody in this offense is complaining. But if you want to reach your optimum, the way that Justin Herbert is playing right now, you're going to have to find a little bit more balance with that run game.
Tony Reyes. Anyone here watch Roman Gabriel or Johnny Unitas? Probably not. I have. Elway, Marino, Montana, you name it. I've seen them all. Most in person. No one has the arm of Herbert. I agree. X factors on defense.
This is the man right here, Dan. It's Tooley. Just waiting for that one first finish for him to record. Now, outside of that, over the last 2 weeks, he's led the team in pressures. I think he has stepped up great since Khalil Mack went down. And I talked about, Dan, someone was mentioning Caleb Murphy in here. I think you're going to see Tooley being utilized is in the same way that Khalil Mack was utilized when they put Khalil Mack on the inside next to Tooley, and you'd be scheming up those type of stunts. Again, we talk about the Giants' tackles, their bookends now, especially with Andrew Thomas returning, that their bookends are pretty good. So how are you going to be able to get pass rush off the edge? Well, you're going to have to start coordinating up some stunts. So I could totally see situations in this where Tooley's sitting right next to Bud Dupree or Caleb Murphy. And you're going to start scheming up these type of stunts where they're working inside, outside, and you can exploit the interior of that Giants offensive line. I think Tooley finishes this week. I think he gets to the quarterback and gets in that sack category finally. But outside of that, he has picked up the slack for Khalil Mack, no doubt about it.
I am intrigued by Kyle Kennard too. I'm curious to see what comes when maybe he gets a little bit more uptick this week. You saw last week.
Not play that many snaps last week.
I think I like 7 or something. Nothing crazy. But he did, I think, his role for the most part. And again, setting expectations of the 4th round selection. But if I set the edge well, I thought he got home a couple times. I thought he did okay. But that edge needs work, man. They've got, to your point, they've got to finish. Or else they're going to bring reinforcements. They're going to. Folks in the chat, let's keep it respectful, guys. Come on. You don't have to, no insider fighting here. It's not worth it. Okay? I'm not going to call anybody out, but you're all Chargers fans. Let's focus on what matters. Enjoy the football team. I am a little concerned about kind of the trend line right now for Darius Davis. You saw the good return last week, right? That fumble was brutal. I know he was dealing with the hamstring. I get the injury.
We didn't talk about it on this show, Dan, but that one great return that he had at the end of the game, I literally had a Travis Benjamin flashback. When he got the ball right on the side and then he started running the opposite direction, I'm like, no, just go forward. What are you doing? And then, of course, he goes out and makes a great play. But I don't think we're going to be seeing end arounds to Darius Davis in this particular game.
I hope not. No, I hope not on 4th down, I'll tell you that much. If I see 4th and short and anything other than the ball in Justin's hands or in Amarian's hands or fullback or give it to Conklin for a sneak, I don't care. Just play your game, Greg Roman, please. X factors on defense. I would love to see the secondary have some fun here. I would love to see what Jesse Minter has cooked up. Dante Jackson, Tarheeb Still, St. Juiced, Cam Hart, Elijah Molden looks like he's going to be playing again. Derwin, that. For me, that group against Jaxon Dart, when you got Steve Klingscale and Jesse Minter coaching them up, that's what I'm excited for. That's the X factor for me, is that secondary just in totality against the rookie quarterback with that coaching. Bold predictions, game predictions. Folks in the chat, we've got about 8 minutes left-ish. Let us know what your bold predictions, your game predictions are. We'll put a couple of them up here as we go through. Jake, bold predictions. Both of us, you were on the money last week. I was close with Amarian. Bold predictions for this week. Jake, what say you?
I've been riding the defense a lot lately over the last couple weeks. I'm going to flip it, Dan. I'm going to flip it. And I'm not going to... I've got a gut feeling you got 2 players on your mind that you're going to make your bold prediction for. And I think I know where you're going to go with it. I think you're going to double down on what you did last week. So I'm going to go with 86 on the screen right here. I'm going to say
Yeah, feels good.
Aronde Gadsden's going to have another huge game again. The middle of the Giants field defensively for them I think is worse off than what the Denver Broncos situation was. And I think that you're going to see Aronde Gadsden featured a lot more in this. We obviously know Will Dissly is not playing in this game, so it's going to be the Tugger Fisk, Tyler Conklin, and Aronde Gadsden show once again. And I think that Gadsden's going to find plenty of opportunities in the middle of this field against the defense. Dan, I'm going to say that he's going to go off for 85 in the TD.
85 in a TD?
85 in the TD.
Just make it 86 in a TD. That'd be sexy.
Hey, 86 for 86.
Ooh, 86 and 2 TDs, says Brad Spicoli. Okay. I had one of two ways I was going to go. One defense, one offense. You were dead on with my Amarian one.
Told you.
But like I see like a defensive touchdown, and I'm just wondering if it's like a pick six or scoop and score from a fumble from Jaxon Dart. F it. I'm going to go both. I'm going to go Martin Hampton gets his over 100 yards rushing. Finally. 2 touchdowns. And defense. Either Dante Jackson pick 6 or a Deion Henley scoop and score. Now, if we get both, I'm about to freaking go to Vegas immediately. Final score predictions. Actually, real quick, some of these bold predictions. Bold prediction. Ooh, Isaiah and Kelsey Lewis. Oh, we're going copium. Dart looks great. 275 plus yards and 3 touchdowns. I hope he's wrong. I hope he's wrong. This is the game that Thule gets 2 sacks. Would love to see it. That'd be great. Trey Harris and Gasson both get a touchdown. Would love it. The best one. Bolt Chowder prediction. We'll all be celebrating Victory Sunday with an ice cold beer, except for Herbert. He prefers his smoking hot. Great.
A beer always makes something better, doesn't it?
Yes. Brisket and beer. Dang. Okay. Isaiah still has the Chargers winning 28-27. There's a lot of them here. Jake, who's the RB2 now? Good question.
I mean,
is it Haskins?
It's probably Haskins. I really don't know how much they would intend to feature Kamani Vidal this week, even though they are going to activate him. Because Amarian's just going to carry the load for this game, honestly. So I'm not sure, but yeah, my first gut would be Hassan Haskins. Let's just all keep tabs on when the Cleveland Browns eventually put Rocket Sanders back on the practice squad so that you can go off and bring him back to the Chargers. Because that would be nice. Because as of right now, Rocket Sanders, who has been inactive, I think, for the last week or two, he's RB4. He's RB4 on that Cleveland Browns team. Somebody deactivate him and put him on the damn practice squad, please. Bring him back to the Chargers.
Yes. Dante Jackson's getting some shine. $1.99 donation from Mighty. Best free agent pickup so far.
Joe Ortiz knows what to do when it comes to free agent corners, doesn't he? Basically resurrected Christian Fulton's career. Got him a 1-year deal over at the Kansas City Chiefs. And now for 2 guys in St. Juice and Dante Jackson that were looked upon poorly by their respective teams just based off of what they got. Again, it's system. It's what fits in Jesse Minter's system in terms of, more specifically for them, zone coverage, which the Chargers are one of the defenses that run zone coverage most in the NFL.
Brennan, bold prediction. Tush push score. That'd be fun.
Just don't false start.
That'd be fun. All right, Jake, final score predictions. What do you got?
Yeah, Dan, I think this is going to be... I think this is a game that the Chargers are going to win by 10. I don't expect this to be a blowout, and I specifically say that much on the words that Jesse Minter was using in terms of unknown for Jaxon Dart. Because, yes, I believe that he's going to be able to confuse him. I think he's going to put him in some turnover situations. But again, it's the element of the unknown. we all remember when Justin Herbert set foot on the field literally right before kickoff against Kansas City Chiefs and what he ended up doing in that game. Even though it was a loss, still took the Chiefs to overtime. It's that element of the unknown for a rookie quarterback when you set in and you don't have a good amount of game film to prepare for. So, again, I definitely think that Jesse Minter is going to have his guys prepared, but there is elements of the unknown. And from the standpoint of Jaxon Dart's mobility, you have to do a better job and be disciplined enough to contain him in that. If you can do that, which I fully believe that they will, confuse him with some defensive coverages, namely with Derwin James, you're going to be able to win this thing handily.
Let's score.
I'll go 27-17.
I'm going to go 27-13. I think this Chargers team wins. I think this is a game that they should win. There's lots of paths to success. There's really only a few to catastrophic loss. Folks in the chat, 13-10 Chargers. I hope they get more than 13.
Same.
That's
a score I would have predicted for the Denver game.
Yeah, 2 defensive scores, 5 sacks, 35-6 Chargers. Let's go. 24-13 Bolts, 24-7 Bolts, 24-14 Bolts, 27-10 Bolts. Chargers 24. All right, so everyone here is pretty high. And again, a little bit of PTSD creeping in here because we've seen this story before, right? Everyone picks the Chargers to win. The Chargers and all the momentum, and then just comes crashing down. But you got to give it to Jim Harbaugh, right? You got to give it to Joe Ortiz, to Justin, to this team. They have found a way. Find a way. Derwin James talked about it. That's all I care about. I don't care if they win 1-2.
2-1.
That's not possible.
2-1.
You can't score at 1 point. 2-1. 3-2. Give me 3-2. That's fine.
3-2.
That's fine. Anyway, and what has, I think, been the difference in this game or in the season so far, of course, Justin's health. But the other component is they have redundancy at a lot of positions by design, right? You've got Keenan and Ladd. You've got Tyler Conklin and Oronde Gadsden. You got Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton, right? You've got the offensive line. You got Rashawn Slater and you have Joe Alt, right? You got Thule and you have Khalil Mack. All the corners, the linebackers, you got redundancy everywhere. Trey Harris and Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey and Keandre Lambert-Smith. They just got a lot of dudes. So we're both predicting Chargers wins. Chargers fans are predicting Chargers wins. We'll see. 10 a.m. Pacific time start game. Hopefully by about 1:15 Pacific.
Early game.
We could be having some fun here. Again, get your Chargers Unleashed hotline, bold predictions if you want to go in there. If you want to get some reactions played on the next show. Again, 323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. Again, 323-902-7586 is the number. Jake, parting words.
Chargers go for 4-0 for the first time in 23 years. Let's get it.
Can they get to 4-0? Stranglehold on the AFC West to start the season. Who'd have thunk it? We shall see. Weather should be nice in the Meadowlands, says Eddie. I hope so. I want to see another one of those poster plays for Justin. You got the slide week 1 against the Chiefs. You got that stupid catch week 3. Or stupid throw, excuse me.
Throw and catch.
What'll it be week 4? What will it be week 4? We will see. Jake, this was fun. Folks in the comments, folks in the chat, those super chats, all of it. Thank you all so much. We had over 600 people on this one. Insane. If you haven't done so already, please tell a friend, like, and subscribe. It helps out a ton. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Tell us what we can do better, what we've done great, how much you hate our hats.
Yes, what we're shit at.
Jake, I've given you an hour and 15 minutes, and I've said nothing about your attire today.
And I really appreciate that, by the way.
Welcome.
I was expecting it to happen in the first 3 minutes. What type of sweatshirt is Jake wearing today? You didn't say that.
Put your arms up, though.
No, they've already been up. You know what fucking type of sweatshirt?
No,
I
I
have.
know. I don't. Today I didn't notice, but it's okay.
No, you're full of shit. I know
No,
you
I
are.
swear. I swear.
You're full of shit. We all know it's short sleeves. So, gonna end this one with a little bit of
There it is.
Wolkenstein.
There it is. Jorge says, thanks, guys. Great show. Bunch of W's in the chat. Sweet Just Bolt family. Peace out. Dan and Jake, have a great weekend to go Chargers. Appreciate you guys. Carson, you're the best. For Jake, I'm Dan. This is Chargers Unleashed, and we will talk to you next time on Chargers Unleashed.